Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me very carefully today. You were not born to live a life controlled by your thoughts. You were born to control your thoughts. The greatest war you will ever fight will not be fought outside of you. It will be fought inside of you. And the enemy is not always a person, a situation, or a circumstance. Sometimes the enemy is the conversation in your mind. Negative thinking is not just a habit, it is a thief. It steals your peace, your confidence, your purpose, and your future. And until you decide to confront it, you will keep living a life far below the one you were created to live. Your mind is the gatekeeper of your destiny, and everything in your life rises or falls at the level of your thinking. If your mind is small, your life will be small, even if opportunities surround you. If your mind is weak, your future becomes negotiable, even when you were born for greatness. One of the greatest deceptions in life is believing that change starts externally. People change their location, their environment, their relationships, their clothes, but their thinking remains the same, and eventually their life returns to the exact state of their mind. You can move to a new city, you can meet new people, you can buy new things, but if the same negative, limiting, fearful thinking follows you, nothing will change. The mind is the warehouse of your beliefs, and your beliefs set the boundaries of your life. The most powerful thing God gave humanity is not hands to work, nor feet to walk, but a mind to direct their life. This is why the battle for your destiny is fought in your thoughts. Every idea, every dream, every decision, every mistake started as a thought. So the question is not whether you are thinking, the question is what you are thinking. Thoughts are seeds, and seeds never remain seeds. They grow, they produce results, they shape your identity and craft your behavior. If you constantly think you are unworthy, unqualified, or not enough, life will treat you according to that belief, not according to your true potential. So here is the hook. If you want to transform your future, you must become the master of your internal dialogue. Stop letting fear narrate your life. Stop letting insecurity write your story. Stop letting doubt speak louder than your purpose. Your mind must become the territory you guard with courage and intentionality. You cannot give permission to every thought that knocks at the door of your mind. Some thoughts must be rejected and expelled instantly. When a thought tells you that you are not capable, challenge it. When a thought tells you to settle, confront it. When a thought tells you that you are behind in life, silence it. You are not behind, you are simply in preparation. Your thinking must align with your purpose, not your problems. You cannot afford mental laziness. You must renew your mind the way a gardener maintains a garden. Daily. Pull out the weeds of negativity before they choke your confidence. Plant seeds of identity, seeds of hope, seeds of faith, seeds of purpose. Your mind is too precious to be handed over to fear, insecurity, or opinions. Protect it like your future depends on it. Because it does. This is not motivation, this is law. Your life will always move in the direction of your most dominant thoughts. If you feed your mind vision, clarity, purpose, strategy, and confidence, your life will expand. But if you feed it worry, suspicion, comparison, jealousy, and doubt, your life will shrink into a prison you build yourself. So ask yourself right now, what am I allowing to live in my mind? What conversations am I entertaining internally? Because your destiny is waiting for the moment you choose to think higher, see greater, and believe deeper than you ever have before. The gate is your mind, and you hold the key. Negative thinking is not loud, it is subtle. It does not enter your life like a storm. It enters like a seed. It whispers, it suggests, it questions. It slowly shapes the way you see yourself and the world around you. The most dangerous enemy is never the one outside. It is the one that lives quietly inside your mind. And the tragedy is, most people fight battles outside, people, situations, opinions, while the real battle that is destroying their confidence is happening in their thoughts. If you do not learn to identify the negative voice within, you will live your entire life reacting to shadows that you yourself created. The enemy knows he cannot control your future, so his strategy is to influence your thoughts. Because if he can control the way you think, he does not need to control the opportunities in front of you. You will reject them yourself. You will talk yourself out of greatness. You will convince yourself that you are not ready. You will stop before you even begin. This is the trap of internal negativity. It disguises itself as caution, humility, or realism, but its true purpose is to shrink your belief in your own potential. The hook is this: you are not failing because life is hard. You are failing because the voice in your mind is louder than the calling in your spirit. Negative thinking does not say, "You cannot do it." It says, "What if you fail?" It does not say, "You are weak." It says, "Just don't try too hard." It does not say, "You don't deserve success." It says, "Keep your expectations low so you do not get disappointed." And because the voice sounds reasonable, people obey it. They live small lives not because they lack potential, but because they obey a voice designed to limit them. If you ever want to rise, you must learn to confront this voice. You must become aware of your internal dialogue. When a thought enters your mind, ask yourself, does this thought empower me or weaken me? Does it align with who I am becoming or who I used to be? Is it speaking to my purpose or to my fear? If the thought weakens you, it is not from your destiny. If the thought shrinks you, it is not from your purpose. If the thought convinces you to play small, it is not from your future. You must develop the courage to challenge every voice that opposes your potential. And you must do it consistently, not occasionally. Every time you doubt yourself, a part of your destiny is delayed. Every time you allow insecurity to speak, your future loses momentum. Every time you allow fear to make decisions, your purpose loses ground. You are not fighting people. You are fighting patterns. Patterns of thought that have been built through experiences, disappointments, failures, comparisons, and past wounds. But just because a thought feels familiar does not make it true. Just because a thought is loud does not make it wise. Just because a thought feels safe does not make it right. You must learn to identify the enemy within, because if you do not confront the internal enemy, the external world will always defeat you. The real breakthrough begins when you stop arguing with your past and start speaking directly to your future. The giant is not outside. You are wrestling with your own shadow. And once you recognize the enemy within, you can finally begin the process of becoming who you were always meant to be. You do not break the power of negative thinking by trying to ignore it. You break it by replacing it. The mind does not respond to empty space. If you remove a negative thought and do not plant a truth in its place, that negative thought will return stronger than before. The mind needs direction, instruction, and authority. If you do not lead your thoughts will lead you. And usually, they will lead you backwards, not forward. The problem is many people try to fight darkness by wrestling with it, when the real solution is to simply turn on the light. Light always overpowers darkness, because light is truth. Negative thinking survives when the mind is passive. But when you become intentional, when you become deliberate, when you begin to speak what is true about you, negative thinking loses its power. Here is the hook: emotional thinking is loud, but truthful thinking is stronger. You must choose to speak to yourself, not just listen to yourself. Because what you say about you matters more than what you have been through. Replace the thought that says, "I am not enough," with "I am equipped, designed, and prepared for my purpose." Replace the thought that says, "I always fail," with "Every step I have taken has prepared me to succeed at this very moment." Replace the thought that says, "I don't deserve greatness," with "I was born with purpose." And purpose itself is the evidence of value. Your life is shaped by repetition, not by single moments. A thought becomes a belief only when repeated, which means you must practice speaking truth. Not once, not when you feel good, not just on days when everything is going your way. You must speak truth, especially when your emotions disagree. Your emotions will tell you that you are weak. Your truth must reply, "I am stronger than I feel." Your emotions will tell you that life is unfair. Your truth must say, "Even this pressure is developing me." Your emotions will tell you it is too late for you. Your truth must declare, "My timing is divine. I cannot be late to my own destiny." The voice you feed becomes the voice that leads. So ask yourself, which voice are you feeding daily? The voice of fear or the voice of faith? The voice of limitation or the voice of identity? The voice that reminds you of your past or the voice that is guiding you into your future? You cannot allow your mind to run unguarded. You must instruct your thoughts the same way a conductor directs an orchestra. Intentionally, confidently, deliberately. When you begin replacing negativity with truth, people may not see the change immediately, but you will feel it. Your posture will shift. Your confidence will rise. Your decisions will become bolder. Your presence will carry more weight. And gradually, your outer world will begin to match your inner transformation. Because life does not change first. The mind changes first, then life aligns. You are not powerless. You are not broken. You are not behind. You simply need to reclaim the authority of your thoughts. Speak what is true until your mind accepts it. Speak what is true until your emotions bow to it. Speak what is true until your life reflects it. You do not become who you wish to be. You become who you repeatedly declare yourself to be. You can never live beyond the picture you hold of yourself because identity sets the limits of your destiny. No matter how talented, gifted, intelligent, or capable a person is, they will always perform according to who they believe they are. If you see yourself as small, you will make small decisions. If you see yourself as unworthy, you will attract relationships that disrespect you. If you believe you are average, life will give you average outcomes. And the tragedy is this: most people are not defeated by the world. They are defeated by the image in their own mind. The world treats you according to the value you assign to yourself. Not the value written on your birth certificate. Not the value others see in you, not even the value God placed in you, but the value you have accepted as your truth. Here is the hook. Your life is simply a mirror reflecting your internal beliefs. What you tolerate is what you think you deserve. What you pursue is what you believe is possible for you. What you settle for is what you think your value is. You cannot fake identity. It shows up in every decision you make. Some of you have dreams that are too big for the version of yourself you are currently identifying with. You want greatness, but you still think small. You want honor, but you still speak to yourself like a failure. You want purpose, but you still operate from insecurity. The real work is not changing your environment. It is changing your internal image. If a person wins without developing the mindset of a winner, they will sabotage their own success to return to the level of identity they are comfortable with. This is why some people lose opportunities they prayed for. This is why some people ruin good relationships. This is why some people start things with passion, but quit when it gets difficult. Their behavior is not the issue, their self-image is. The moment you upgrade the picture of who you are, your entire life rises to match it. Identity does not change by accident. It changes through intentional renewal. You must begin to speak to yourself like someone who carries purpose. You must treat yourself like someone who matters. You must expect from life what someone with destiny expects. Stop saying, "I hope things work out." Start saying, "I am aligning myself with what I was created for." Stop saying, "I don't deserve more." Start saying, "I am growing into the version of me who can handle more." Stop waiting for people to validate you. Stop waiting for the world to approve you. Stop waiting for your past to apologize. Identity is not inherited, it is chosen. You decide who you become by the thoughts you accept and the standards you enforce. Raise your standards and your life will rise to meet them. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too behind. You simply have not seen yourself correctly yet. Everything you've been praying for, preparing for, hoping for, is already aligned with the person you have the potential to become. The question is not whether the dream is real. The question is whether you are willing to see yourself as capable of carrying it. You are not becoming someone new. You are returning to who you were always meant to be. Discipline of the mind is not an occasional practice. It is a daily training of your internal environment. The mind does not naturally drift towards strength, clarity, confidence, and purpose. It drifts toward fear, doubt, comparison, and distraction. And the people who achieve peace, influence, and success are not necessarily the most talented or privileged. They are simply the most disciplined in managing their thoughts. Discipline means choosing what deserves your attention and refusing to feed what weakens you. Your mind is like a garden. If you do not intentionally plant seeds of growth, weeds of negativity will take control without permission. Many people are frustrated with their results, but never examine the habits of their thoughts. They check their phone before they check their spirit. They feed on gossip before they feed on truth. They compare themselves to others before they acknowledge their own progress. And then they wonder why anxiety grows and confidence weakens. The hook is this: you are not overwhelmed because life is too heavy. You are overwhelmed because your mind is untrained. A trained mind can walk through storms and remain steady. A trained mind can hear criticism and remain secure. A trained mind can face uncertainty and remain calm. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to think positively. It is about deciding who you refuse to be anymore. When a negative thought enters, discipline says, "This thought has no authority over my identity." When insecurity whispers, discipline responds, "I will not negotiate my worth." When fear tries to gain influence, discipline stands firm and says, "My purpose is greater than my discomfort." Discipline means you do not allow your emotions to run freely without guidance. You acknowledge how you feel, but you make decisions based on who you are becoming, not who you used to be. This is where maturity begins. Your growth accelerates the moment you stop being controlled by temporary emotions and start being guided by long-term vision. Every day you must deliberately choose what your mind consumes: books, conversations, music, content, environments. Everything you expose your mind to is either building your future or weakening it. If you feed your mind random noise, you will live a random life. If you feed your mind purpose, you will live a purposeful life. It is impossible to think like a champion while consuming the mindset of the average. Discipline is not punishment, it is protection. It protects your identity from confusion, your peace from chaos, your destiny from distraction. The truth is, you will not always feel motivated. But discipline does not need motivation. It requires commitment. Commitment to your growth, commitment to your purpose, commitment to your calling. Even on the days when your emotions are tired, your discipline must still stand, because your future is not built in moments of excitement. It is built in the quiet, daily decisions no one sees, the small choices to think higher, to speak life, to guard your focus, to refuse negativity, to nurture your vision. This is how champions are formed, not in the spotlight, but in the unseen routine of mental cultivation. If you want to transform your life, you must train your mind with the same seriousness that an athlete trains their body. Consistency is your power. Focus is your weapon. Discipline is your foundation. And once your mind is trained, no situation, no person, no setback will have the power to break you again. Words are not just sounds, they are forces, they are seeds. They are instruments of creation and destruction. The mind believes what it hears repeatedly, which means the most influential voice in your life is not the world, not your family, not your past, not your environment. It is your own voice. The reason many people remain stuck is because they speak from their emotions instead of their identity. They speak from their pain instead of their purpose. They speak from their fear instead of their future. And the dangerous thing about words is that repeated statements become beliefs. Beliefs become habits, habits become identity, and identity becomes destiny. If you keep saying, "I can't," your mind will look for evidence to confirm it. If you keep saying, "I always fail," your actions will align with failure. If you keep saying, "Life is against me," you will interpret every moment as hostility. But here is the hook. You are not speaking to describe your life, you are speaking to shape it. What you declare consistently creates the mental blueprint your life follows. Even if you do not feel strong, you must speak strength. Even if you do not feel capable, you must speak capability. Even if you do not see progress, you must speak progress. You are not lying, you are leading. Speak until your emotions obey. Speak until your confidence rises. Speak until your mind stops resisting your potential. Your words are not supposed to match your environment. They are supposed to transform it. When you say, "I will succeed," your mind begins to search for strategies. When you say, "I am worthy," your spirit begins to stand taller. When you say, "I am becoming greater," your behavior begins to align with growth. This is not empty optimism. This is neurological conditioning. The mind accepts repeated statements as reality even before proof arrives. That means your words are rehearsals for your future. This is why silence can be dangerous. If you do not speak life into your future, your past will speak for you. If you do not declare strength, your insecurities will narrate your decisions. If you do not affirm your identity, the world will label you for its own convenience. You must become intentional with your language. Replace "I can't do this" with "I am learning to master this." Replace "Nobody supports me" with "I am building strength in this season." Replace "I am afraid to fail" with "I am courageous enough to try." Speak life when fear is loudest. Speak vision when doubt surrounds you. Speak identity when you feel lost. The moment you begin speaking as the person you are becoming, your mind will begin releasing the resources, confidence, clarity, and resilience required to sustain that identity. It will not happen instantly, but it will happen consistently. And consistency is what transforms a whisper into conviction. Eventually, you will not be saying words, you will be embodying them. Your tone will shift, your posture will change, your presence will carry weight. Because the world recognizes when a person believes in their own becoming. Speak life until your mind believes it. Speak life until your environment adjusts. Speak life until your destiny opens. You are not waiting for power, you are activating it. So today, I am asking you not to try, I am asking you to decide. Decide to kill negative thinking before it kills your purpose. Stand guard over your mind. Protect your internal world. Speak life even when you feel weak. Walk by purpose, not by emotion.